What you're about to hear is pure entertainment, recaps, and stories in the Pacific Northwest motocross scene. Welcome to the 30 Plus 2 podcast with your hosts, Steven Kristoff and Lexi Y. Put the board up. Let's go!
All right, episode 49, and I'm barely in the screen. This is the 30 Plus 2 podcast, and we are once again with Lexi Y. She is 2 for 2 on consistency.
Yes.
And yeah, we're back Tuesday. We keep flip-flopping, so we're not consistent on that part, Lexi. But hey, just like racing and whatnot, you never know what's going to happen. You're just, you got to switch your lines up when you're, racing. So we're back into rut number 2 on Tuesday. You like that? I just thought that over my head. I'm a professional. But hey, Lexi, we got on some fun people tonight. We got Nate Mattson on from Transcendent Photography. Did I spell that right? Yeah, I think I did. Photography. It looks wrong. The font looks weird. And then we got our favorite Kyle Berry on. He's currently riding around the house, just like the movie Motocross. Lexi, you've seen that movie, right?
Yes.
I know you're on the younger part of the group here between you and I, but hey, I mean, that's a classic movie. I mean, if you haven't watched that, you got to log off for right now. How many times do you watch motocross, by the way, like per year?
Well, it's on Disney Plus, I'm pretty sure, so I watch it quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta at least watch it like once or twice a year to stay like refreshed, and like get that motivation for Andy Carson. I mean, you're both blondes. I know she cut her hair like very manly. Like I don't think you're gonna do that unless you're racing for a dude. I don't know. I mean, you probably could like race for a guy because you are pretty quick. We'll talk about Friday night when we get to it. I know you really want to talk about that. But before Friday night stuff, we'll have Nate on at about 6:45, and then Kyle, once he's done ripping around the house making Motocross 2, he'll come on in the 7:00 hour. But Lexi, how was your weekend? I was opening my mailbox. I looked for that invite, and my mailbox is empty. What happened?
It was a really fun weekend. I did Pacific on Friday, and then I headed over to Randall for Saturday morning, or I rode all Saturday and then Sunday too. It was a lot of fun. Friday went pretty well. Had some mistakes, but we'll, bypass that. And Saturday was a lot of fun. I got a lot of seat time in, like 3 motor hours, which is really crazy. And shout out, because I know Tanner watches this. Tanner and me were battling, and on lap 5 of us being side by side, I took his line, and he ended up going over the berm and has an AC separation in his shoulder now.
Girl!
Sorry, Tanner. I'm really sorry about that one, but it was a lot of fun, and it was so worth it.
Man, Tanner and I were talking while you were away, and I was all like, yeah, Lexi's going to this shindig on Saturday, and I talked about it on Monday, trying to go and get in, sneak in and whatnot. She just hard shut me down. Tanner's like, wow, Lexi was just not even letting you come. Like, why would you not let the media guy come? And then I see what happens to your friends, Lexi. You put them over a berm and you break them. God.
It was quite an interesting time, but it was
maybe you were protecting me. That's what it was. You're like, I can't hurt the old man over here, the host of 30, the main host of 30 Plus 2. He's got a job, he's got a house. We can't send him over a berm, so we're just not even gonna let him come because I'm feeling angry from Friday night. I see what happened there. You took it out on Tanner. So Tanner,
it was really
you
funny.
owe her one.
He said that he knew it was gonna happen from the way the speed he had going over the last jump to the corner.
Oh
And
my.
I just from the side of my eye, I was just like, oh my gosh, Tanner just leaped off of it. And then I turned back around and made someone hold my bike so I could go make fun of him. But he laid on the ground.
Go
for
make fun of him
5
instead of help him up. Are you okay? Ha ha ha! Loser. Wow.
Pretty much how it went.
Wow.
And then I had to go race and get my mom to show my mom that he crashed too. So it was pretty funny.
Man, you literally did what they did to Andy Carson in motocross, where it was either Pastrana or McGrath like center over the berm. Like you literally were just like rookie street bike rider, boom over the berm you go.
It was a lot of fun.
My name's Lexi Y. Don't forget. Okay, well, we are starting. I wish I sorry, Lexi. I worked 10 hours today. I didn't get to your video series like done yet, but we're starting Lexi's World. I think that's our working title we got. I don't know. Unless you come up with something else. I like Lexi's World. So it could be broad too. I mean, if you end up, if I'm not there and you have someone like Tanner who's now going to be on the sidelines filming for me, we could totally have like all these other segments of like, what do you do in your life? I think we should put a GoPro on the horse with Allie and have that like as like a feature too. I mean, the GoPro's got stabilization in 2025, so it's not gonna be like the whole time, So, but yeah. I missed all your crashes, so you could just act like they never existed. Like I didn't get the beginning. I just got you picking up your bike multiple times, and I was all like, "Man, if Lexi crashes this much, I might have it in the bag at all."
It was only 3 times.
Only
one
3
of them
times.
was not my fault. That one was not my fault. That kid didn't crash in front of me, and then someone hit me behind, but it never crashed.
Okay, well, the first one, yeah, it wasn't your fault. It was just bad, kind of like 180. What are you gonna do? You're super close. You were like literally like hounding him, like ready to leapfrog him, and then you just really hated that corner right before the finish line. I don't know if like someone kept putting like dollar bills out in the front in the turn, and you're just all like, "Hey, I need to make some money, so I'm gonna just go pick this up real quick." But you dumped it there twice. It's only in the junior classes, like coincidentally. Women's class, you're just all like, "I'm good. I'll smoke you all." You took the win, and then I don't know what was going on with the junior class.
I don't know. I could not tell you. That one was just not going well.
You got third in the LCQ. You made me stay till 11 o'clock at night. I got home at 2. It's all right.
Oh, that was definitely a late one.
The things I do for you, and I don't even get invited for the weekend. But besides that, I mean, are you going to be doing all of Moto Pacifics or try to do at least majority of them again?
There's a lot of conflicting weekend stuff, but other than that, I should be.
Yeah, I know. Talk about conflicting. We got Washougal and Puro on top of each other. I was going to leave it at that. Like, this makes life a little difficult. I'm still debating. Do I go to Airway for Saturday only and then come in and drive that 6 hours to Washougal and just be there Sunday morning ready to go? I don't know. I mean, I am kind of like the Energizer Bunny. People are like, "You were crazy for going to Moto Pacific." People like assume I like live up there, and then they're like, "Why are you at Portland International Raceway? Why are you here? Why are you there?" I'm like, "I'm an Oregon dude. I just keep driving and driving,
I think that whatever one makes the most money, you should definitely go to.
That's hard. It's hard. You never know. Like right now, it's Tuesday. My signups are absolutely zilch right now for PIR and Moto Pacific. So I might be skipping both of them this weekend. But I have a go-kart event on Saturday. Sorry, Lexi, I'm not inviting you.
That's okay.
But yeah, we got a Pat Akers go-kart shooting event. I'm waiting for that schedule. And then I'll be at Albany on Sunday. I may be at Albany on Saturday as well. But yeah, I chickened out, Lexi. I was going to ride Michael Miller's Yamaha 450, because I was getting ready. I've been working in the gym and, been doing my finger crunches in the office with the keyboards, really getting ready for this 1v1 race against you. And yeah, I chickened out. Couldn't do it. Like 450, too much power. But hey, 3 tracks in 3 days or 4 days. I don't even know what day we're on anymore. But yeah, we got Nate in the background, so we'll get Nate on here in about a few minutes. But what are you looking forward to most? Asking either Nate or Kyle about media. Have you held a camera? You're like the odd one out. It's all media talk and Lexi.
I have held a camera for school things. Oh, I actually just got a text from Tanner that he is very happy that he just got featured in the podcast. So, but I've never actually been behind a camera except for like a school thing, but the pictures definitely did not turn out well. So I'm interested to see like how they got into it, how dirt bikes came into the picture, and
Yeah, I mean, it's a financial investment to get the types of cameras and whatnot. Like you can ask Kyle too. His stuff costs as much as his like 250F and 450. And I only want to know what Nate's credit card looks like because I'm sure mine looks alike too. Where we're just like both like sweating there, like he'll get paid off when it gets paid off. But yeah, okay. You've never done much of camera work. Do you have any interest in getting into it, or you just want all of us to like continue to just like shoot you and whatnot?
Well, I think that I'll stay out of behind the camera and I'll just keep riding my dirt bike.
Just in front of the camera. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we tried. I've often thought about this. Like my funeral is going to be very boring because there's going to be like rarely any photos of like the photographer, but there's like a million photos I've taken. And so like, hey, welcome. We don't have any photos of Christoph because like he was always behind the camera. He was never in front of the camera. Yeah. So enjoy all the photos you have. Yours will be long and whatever. But you got quite a while. But anyways, let's bring Nate on. Let's talk about all this stuff. He had a tumble as well. I don't know if you saw it. He went quad racing. I believe it was a TT course, but we'll ask him on that. And yeah, he was getting it sideways until it wasn't sideways anymore. So we'll talk about that with Nate. So yeah, let's jump Nate on here and get into our first guest of the night. All right, and we're back with Nate Mattson, Lexi, and Christoph are here. Nate, how are you feeling after that wild ride you had on over the weekend at Airway?
I'm a little sore, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so before we get into media stuff, like just Lexi had this theme of going down. She crashed multiple times on Friday. Sorry, Lexi, I'm just gonna keep poking at you. Then she went and murdered her friend Tanner over the weekend, as you heard, like over a berm. You were on a quad. Like, what was going on there at Airway? I watched your GoPro. You were getting really pro status, and then you were kind of like Ricky Bobby, and you were up in the air, upside down, and this is not good.
Yeah, I was flying through the air, and it was not good. But I decided to do a flat track for the first race. I ended up getting a Raptor $700 like a month ago.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have some fun with it. And the Hefflings actually talked me into it because Colton does the flat track there. He about blew his bike up, so they decided not to go. And so I was stuck going. So it's like, you know what? I'm just going to have fun no matter what. So got in. There's only 2 other guys racing. So I was feeling really great on the practice runs. So I got about 8 good laps in and was feeling pretty confident going into the first moto. And I think I counted 2.5 laps before it all went wrong. But they started getting a little far from me. So I was getting a little more aggressive riding in the corner and just hit a slick spot. And as soon as I started looking across my shoulder, like, you know what? It's happening. So as soon as you're perpendicular with the track, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went down and hit my back pretty good. And I was a little concerned about that, but just muscular and everything was locked up, knocked the wind right out of me for a good couple of minutes.
Jeez.
Didn't feel very nice, but nothing broken, thank God. But
Yeah.
I'm in one piece. Can't say the same for the quad.
Well, did they red flag it? Did they just ride around
yeah.
you?
Yeah, they stopped. They were about a good half a lap ahead of me at the time that I wiped out. But yeah, they red flagged it, and then I think they just went 2 more laps after that. But yeah, they loaded me up, did a little assessment, and I ended up walking out. And I broke my spindle knuckle, and I snapped the rear frame in half on that quad. So it was pretty gnarly. I wiped out going like I think it was 35 or 40 miles an hour in that corner.
Yeah, well, Lexi, I think he's got you beat on the crash of the weekend.
Yeah, I just had tip overs.
Yeah, it was just watching it. It's just a glorified overturn, honestly.
Yeah,
But it felt so much worse than it looked. But I don't know about from the spectator's point of view, but having the GoPro on my chin, man, that thing was solid. Didn't move an inch through the whole time. So I got a perfect shot.
have you submitted this to MX Fails?
I have not yet. I probably should.
But yeah, I maybe that's why I chickened out. I saw your video of you doing the flat track and then like laying flat on the ground, and I'm all like, you know what? I don't think I should get on a dirt bike this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, comparatively, it's nothing compared to what I've seen happen on the moto tracks. I mean, I've seen broken femurs, arms, broken necks. It can get ugly really fast. So I'm very fortunate that nothing bad happened to me.
I know you weren't there, Lexi. I don't know if you were there yet, Nate. This is 2022 Airway for Pac West. I'm there, and they had flat tracking on the back course in the back. Lexi, you know where I'm talking about, where the yellow like bathroom is and whatnot. They're going around and around, and it's like go-kart status, like those ones. And all of a sudden, the dude like just whiskey throttles, does exactly what you did, flies out of the go-kart, just goes head first right in the cement wall. And I'm all like, bro, just died in front of me. And they literally picked him up, threw him in a pickup truck, and then went just like to the hospital. That was the ambulance. It's in a Ford Ranger. They're like, you know what? He'll be fine. Put him in the back. Let's go. Like, we're all just like, anyone else see this?
Yeah, the flat tracks can look pretty ordinary, but it's just as hard a racing as anything else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lexi, have you ever tried flat track?
You know, I actually have. Again, one of my best friends, Tanner, he is a very good flat tracker. And he was like, Lexi, you should come and try it out. So I did, and they let me go in the kids' practice on a 450. You know, everything's perfect on it. And 65s, 50s, everyone was beating me. But at the end of the day, I did pass all the 65s. So I was pretty proud of myself about that. But it's not my thing, that's for sure.
You're like post Ricky Bobby after his crash. You're like, everyone's going around you. And you're like, and then you got back to you got some pace there. So all right, I'll try flat track at some point in my life. I don't know. We'll find out. But anyways, jumping into the media side of things, Nate, you've been pretty busy the last few years. I think the first time I saw you was like Fossil Bowl, one of those hot Fossil Bowls. It was like either 2023 or 2022. I can't remember. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but like, how'd you jump in the moto? And then we'll get into your wildlife stuff here in a bit. But yeah, how'd you get into the moto scene of things?
Well, you might have seen me first in 2022, I believe. I've been doing this motocross stuff for about three years consistently.
Yeah.
Maybe 4, but that was just kind of occasional run to different tracks, trying to see what was going on. Because I've been living in Spokane for the last 3 years or so. And I grew up in Moscow my whole life. So the only track that I knew about was when Eric was running at the fairgrounds still and the Fossil Bowl. I never knew that there was a track in Spokane, or I never heard of a Washougal or anything like that. But I mean, I didn't grow up watching motocross a ton as a kid, but I was mostly with the crusty guys watching all them. But yeah, I mean, as soon as I found out there was a track up here in Airway, I decided to go check it out and bring my camera with me. And I actually had a lot of fun the first day out, just running some practices. Met a lot of really nice people and decided to stick around and try it for a serious run the next year, because I kind of came towards the end of the season. And so the first year went pretty good. And then it's just, you know, we've got day jobs doing this, most of us. Right. It's really hard to go full time with all this. especially in Spokane, it can be really tough. Being one track and everything's like 2 or 3 hours away. And I know you're on the coast and coming out here, it's a long ways to get other tracks. But yeah, I just kind of showed up one day and checked it out, and then I've just been hanging out ever since, meeting more people, and the community is awesome everywhere you go. I mean, I couldn't have asked for better, friends and moto family to get to know over the last couple of years.
Right. What got you into even the moto stuff in the first place? I mean, obviously you did photography like probably prior to motocross, like your wildlife stuff. Like what got you to be like, hey, I just want to go totally different direction from shooting nature and whatever else you've shot before and just go straight into moto?
Yeah, I mean, I've personally rode dirt bikes and quads my whole life. So
Okay.
I kind of grew up doing that, doing woods riding. I was never really much of a racer. I didn't go to any races or anything like that. But really, it's just kind of crossing my passions between riding machines and taking pictures. Because, I mean, once I got started in photography about 10, 11 years ago, I was doing a lot of portraits and stuff. And then I was kind of mixing in wildlife, doing the eagles in Coeur d'Alene when they would come up. And so that was just kind of a seasonal thing, do it during the winter because they're only here for 2 months. But but yeah, just going out to the track just as soon as I found out that it was there is really kind of how I ended up sticking with it, is just showing up and mixing my passions together.
What got you into photography in the first place?
That's always been kind of a tough ask. I really just kind of took my mom's camera out on some trips with me, and she had an old Fujifilm digital zoom camera. And so I was like, well, I'll just take it with me and take pictures of stuff. And then we ended up doing that trip to Coeur d'Alene when I was in middle school. And we went on a science trip for the bald eagles and took the boat cruises and took some pictures of the birds flying by and thought that was really cool. So I kind of ended up doing a few trips here and there with that digital camera and doing some sports for my friends and my brother once I graduated.
Nice.
And then I got my first little digital camera, the DSLR, the Nikon D3100, I think it was. And it was like a $500 kit, which I thought was super expensive. But looking back, it's really not. But yeah, I was just doing a lot of sports and some wildlife here and there, and then not much really in between. Just a real baseline hobby at that point for a long time, just taking pictures of stuff, whatever I could.
Yeah, I mean, I look at all your eagle stuff and whatnot, and like, I don't have that patience that you do when it comes to wildlife photography. I know Jordan VL, which we'll have him on at some point too. Like, he will go and take photos of deer and go on these nature walks and make all these cool things. Like, take us through the process of just getting that perfect shot of a bald eagle, because it's not like the moto track where it's like, all right, I see Lexi riding around, I can just walk over there, shoot, click. Like, you don't got trackers on the birds. Like, how are you even like getting those shots? Because you have stuff that like are National Geographic level and could be like, in magazines and be literally on anything that, pay top dollar.
Well, thank you. Well, it's definitely different than sports because there's really no such thing as consistency for the most part. I mean, you can go to different locations that they like to visit, and they're somewhat predictable with their habits. But I mean, on a track, you got people coming lap after lap after lap, and so you've got plenty of opportunities. But when you get out into the wildlife sector, you really don't know. You could go out for a day and see nothing, or you could go out for a day and have a really good day and shoot a bunch of stuff for hours. But I mean, there's been a lot of days that I've been skunked and I haven't gotten anything. And doing the bald eagles, I mainly do that in Coeur d'Alene. And so I've got a lot of hot spots that over the last decade that I've kind of starred on my map. And then there are certain spots where they like to hang out and congregate. Yep. And sometimes you can get back into the woods and they'll get up away from the water and just kind of hang out. But I mean, it's really just paying attention to what they're doing, and then where they like to hang out. Because we've been really fortunate the last, I think, 2 years. We've had one bald eagle that I've got my best work with, and I think she's a local bird. She hangs out at I'm forgetting the Lake Fernan, which is right next to Lake Coeur d'Alene. But she likes one perch, and it's been pretty popular. She's made a lot of Instagram pictures and reels and blown a lot of people up, including myself. But it's just paying attention to what they do, and they can be somewhat predictable, but really we never know. We just show up and hope that they show up also.
That's crazy that you like actually have certain areas where you're like, okay, well, there's more chances that they'll come here versus here. I mean, for me, I don't know, and we'll get back into the track stuff too. And Lexi is probably the same way, where you just like you're hitting that same line and corners and whatnot. For me, I need to put a Lit Pro in my pocket, because when I'm at Horn or Washougal, there's times I can shoot the same exact photo because I know what's gonna happen on this jump, this corner, like. And that's interesting how like the birds kind of do relatively the same thing for you once you get in the habit and you like learn those traits and whatnot. So yeah, like, what do you like more, the wildlife stuff or the moto stuff? Or is it a little bit like the same, but kind of both?
Well, I would say I like the wildlife stuff a whole lot more. Just being outdoors, you never know where it's going to take you. I mean, you could say the same thing for doing moto. You could get a phone call one day and that would change your life, and you could be in California the next day.
Right.
But I mean, wildlife, you could, like, I've been started to go to Yellowstone a lot now. And I used to say for a long time, well, I'll go there someday, and you're not going to go until you go.
Yeah.
So you just book the trip and go, and then you'll probably be back a whole lot more often than you think. But yeah, I mean, being out in nature is awesome for me. Don't get me wrong. I love hanging out at the track, hearing the bikes rip by, smelling the gas, hanging out with the kids and stuff. But I mean, there's nothing that beats having a bear that's 40 yards away from you walking out of the trees. That'll kind of keep you on edge and catch your attention. It's awesome.
That's
Have you ever had any sketchy moments?
Not really, honestly. I mean, I've had one with a mama moose, but luckily she didn't have her calf with her. But we were coming back into Yellowstone this last January, and she was out in the creek side along the road, and so we pulled up a ways ahead of her, give her some time to walk down to us, because that's the best way to get your shots, is to go where they're going, and so they'll come to you naturally. So you're not walking up directly to them and stressing them out or anything like that. But I mean, we waited for her to come to us a little bit, and then she was just kind of grazing, eating the bushes and stuff. And there was a moment there she stopped and she lifted her head and was looking at us across the road. And we're like 30, 40 yards away from her, which is, they tell you 25 yards for most animals and 100 yards for predators.
Yeah.
But you can't really help when animals come to you. You can kind of gauge what's kind of going on, and you can get away if you need to. But if animals are comfortable enough coming to you within reason, I mean, it's going to be a pretty average interaction. But
yeah,
those moose, unless their ears are tucked back behind them, you're going to be all right for the most part. But they're pretty easy to read. If their ears are down, you better get out fast. Otherwise, you're going to get run over, because a lot of people don't know those moose are tall. They're bigger than horses. I mean,
yeah, they're huge.
I don't know if some people can see videos in Alaska where they just roam through people's yards all the time, standing up next to Silverados. Their backs are up to the top of the trucks. And I mean, but anyway, she started crossing the creek, coming towards the road, and her ears were still up, kind of curious about us, smelling us. The wind was at our backs, which is not always preferable, because then they're definitely smelling you. And I mean, it's not their natural environment to have people in it.
Right.
So they're curious, and they're wondering what you are, what you're doing. But she ended up kind of taking a couple longer steps towards us, and I didn't really like that very much. So step to the side, walked down the road a little ways, and then she kind of came up to the shoulder a little bit and was looking at us, and then went back down to the water, started eating some bushes again, said, okay, I think it's time to go. We should probably leave. But to do that, we had to go past her again to get to the pickup, which in my mind, it slipped my mind that we should have gone left instead of right to be closer to the truck, because you never want an animal between you and your
getaway
escape route, without having to walk in the snow, because it's waist deep snow out there in the wintertime, and sagebrush underneath, so it'll get you if you're trying to get away.
Right.
But we kind of had to play that just careful enough, and she took another step or two towards us when we got to the closest point, passing her, and got me a little nervous. She never fully charged, but she did come back up to the road at us, and we ended up backing away, because you don't want to turn your backs on them, because those big animals move quick.
Oh yeah.
And so we kind of backed out of there, keep talking loud, make noise so they can hear you, because if they're in the bush and don't see you, then they're just as nervous as you are, because they can't see you. But if they know what's going on, if you're getting quieter, they know that you're leaving. And we ended up getting in the truck and taking some pretty good images home. But that was probably the most sketchy thing that I've encountered. But I mean, I've never had any bears come after us or come charging down hills. I mean, I've had a little baby cub up in a tree. We were at the bottom of the hill, and it was probably 50 yards up, and we were walking, just hanging out, and we happened to see it. We're like, oh, okay, where's Mama Bear? Black bear.
Right.
And so we went up the other ridge. There was a big group of us, because you never want to do that by yourself.
Yeah.
Because bears can be tricky to deal with, especially on your own. But we ended up going up the next ridge over and trying to get pictures of that little baby hanging out. It was laying full on its belly on the branch, and its arms were all dangling down. It was a brand new little thing, the little football heads and everything. It was awesome. But Mama Bear was just at the base of the tree sleeping, didn't care about us, just hanging out. So they ended up getting a couple pictures. I didn't really take anything, because there's just too many branches for me.
Right.
But it was cool to see for me, definitely. But I mean, anything other than that, I haven't had any other sketchy experiences yet. Hopefully nothing in the future that's worse than that.
Yeah, well, knock on wood.
You never know.
The moose was just trying to get your Instagram. That's why it kept getting close. Like, hey, I want those photos. Like, I want to go show my fellow mooses,
Yeah, I should have left my card behind.
Should have. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. So in the moto, something that you like to do, and Lexi, feel free to cut me off at any point or throw me over the berm like you did Tanner. But going into the moto stuff, I mean, you've been doing this for a few years now, and you've got some different styles. Like, I always tell myself, I'm like kind of like an event photographer. You're gonna get the basic natural colors and whatnot from the race. You may not get the coolest photo all the time, but you get some event recap stuff. You really like to play with colors. You got like, how do you determine what color preset you want to do on your photos? Because you got dry stuff, you got warm stuff, you got cold stuff. Lexi's like, I think he's speaking Chinese.
I don't know.
Like, take us through like your photo techniques on the moto side.
Well, I know for the first couple of years I've been doing this on the moto side, I was really kind of sticking to base colors and just kind of playing with the layering, darkening the backgrounds and really making the subjects pop and the colors pop.
Yeah.
And then I ran across an Instagram account. I can't remember it off the top of my head right now, but he was shooting more of that brownish desert look that you're kind of seeing from me now.
Yeah.
And I always like to do stuff that looks different. I've always been pretty artsy with my pictures on wildlife and motocross. I try not to have a snapshot mentality where it's like, well, I'm going to take this picture and that's what it is. So I like to make things look a little more dramatic, have different kind of framing styles, stuff that stands out and is really kind of kind of bold when you look at it.
Right.
But yeah, this year I've really gone with that dry brownish look, trying to make more colors more isolated and dramatic. Horn Rapids was great for that because it's a sandy dirt track, and a lot of that I don't have to do much at all besides play with the coloring. Airway's a little harder because there's grass mixed in with the dirt, and I take away a lot of the greens in that, and it looks a little shoddy when you take the green out of the grass. It just kind of looks a little wonky, but yeah, doing the stuff at Horn for the start of my season this year was pretty sick, to be honest with you. I was kind of blown away with what I was getting.
Yeah, I'm a saturator. I don't know
That's
if you
awesome.
noticed, Lexi, but your pinks tend to pop a lot. Here's an example of as we block everyone, your dry tone that you usually do.
Oh yeah, I think that was 2 years ago at our scare scramble. No, not a scramble. It was the freak night for Halloween. We did that. I think that's Garrett Secord actually.
Possible.
That race is one of my favorite races ever.
Yeah, super fun. That's one of my favorite corners of the Supercross Center at Airway. That corner is awesome. You're gonna always get an awesome corner shot out of that.
Yeah, I've been roosted a few times. Lexi, what kind of questions you got for Nate before we get Kyle on here in a few minutes as well?
When you are shooting tracks, what is like your favorite thing to get? Is it corners? Is it jumping? Is it what kind of like stuff do you like to shoot the most that turns out the best?
Well, I like to do I like to get a lot of the whips and the bigger jumps. Because not everyone can whip, and that's cool. But the big jumps, like it always looks impressive. And I try to get on at least the side of the jumps so you can get some of the landscape behind them, and so you're more on their level. But there's also a few that I've done where I'm directly underneath somebody because you don't always get to see that, and so it's a different point of view. And a lot of people like that when it's not something that you get to see all the time. So being right under people, right next to the big jumps or under them, whichever, on top of the tabletops, because I know at Airway on our holiday overpass, you can walk up there with the flagger and they can go right past your face and you can get a nice flat whip and you can see the whole track and the mountains behind you. I mean, yeah, those big jumps are definitely my favorite.
What I just try to capture as much of anything possible. Unfortunately, we don't really have that many big jumps over on the west side. I mean, Lexi, what do we have? Moto Pacifics. What we got? Is it the back table over there? That's probably the biggest along the tree line. Yeah, you were nailing that, no problem. I said nope. I looked at him like, yeah, if I ever ride here, I'm rolling that. And Lexi's just gonna go woo right over me. But yeah, what else do I got for you? For me, I always try to get as many photos as possible. Have you ever had this question, Nate? I've had it. Hey, can you get like boring photos of my kid? And I'm like, huh? And they want like to see for training purposes if their kids' elbows are down, if they're looking dorky, like in a section. Like that's what I get from a lot of the 50s and 65 and 85 parents.
I haven't got that before, no.
Yeah, like they're like, oh, dude, thanks for getting that photo. My kid looks like a total dork, so that I can work on it with them.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that pointed out before, but I've never had any specific asks for anything like that.
Yeah, it's interesting what moto parents will ask, like just because, like, we're out there all day and practically all night and whatnot. Have you ever had a sketchy moment where a bike's almost smoked you?
Oh, a few times, yeah, definitely a few times. Because I don't know if Lexi, you've seen me out on the track before, but I like to get close, sometimes a little too close. And I put a picture out on my Instagram the other day with Jonah Schmidt going past me in the sand section over at Horn, and he's like 5 feet away from me, and I've got my camera pushed out to the side and hanging over the track, and I like to hang it out a little bit and try to get a little in the action, but I'm a little surprised I have not been talked to about that yet. But you gotta be really aware when you're that close to stuff, because anything can happen. It takes one mistake and people are off the track. I mean, I've had people land coming into wheelies or wheeling out, and their bike could come flying over at me. I know at Airwave at the finish corner, right before you go over the finish line, I had a guy come way too high on the berm, and it gave out on him.
Oh,
and I was going to turn to walk away, and I always look over my shoulder when bikes are still coming.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started to walk away, the dirt gave out, and his bike came over sideways. And yeah, he ended up going over right where I was standing. So literally, it could be any moment that something like that could happen. So you got to be very aware when you're on an active track.
Yeah, our sport is sketchy. That's why we're always in yellow. I mean, we're multi-purpose tools. That's what I tell a couple of our promoters and racetrack owners, which they like that I wear yellow because they can always find me, and then I can wave my arms whenever someone goes down. So it's definitely a sketchy moment. Like Hoyt Stigum tried to murder me at the opening round of Horn. I know you were there too, and I told you about it, Dave. I was all like, Stigum just trying to run me over. I was like, just did the straightaway too. Well, sweet. Where can people hook up with you on media, and where are you going to be at next?
Well, we've got another round of AMX at Airway Heights this weekend. You can find me on Instagram at Transcendent Photog. I tell people it's photography without the Rafi. So just Transcendent Photog, because the rest of it's taken by somebody else, which always happens. But my wildlife stuff, you can find me at Transcendent Wildlife. My website is transcendentphotog.square.site. That's where I do all my bookings, all my merch, all my stuff like that. I run practice sessions. Sometimes I'll be at Jonah's practice sessions and do stuff for him and the riders that are going out to do that. Nice. But yeah, just this weekend we got the AMX rounds coming up. But yeah, I'm pretty much done racing for a little while, so I'll be more focusing on the camera stuff again.
I'm re-retired.
Yeah, that's right.
I
had my race.
We'll get back into it. I keep teasing Lexi that I'm going to smoke her at Albany in September, which I'll have to have you come down if the cards are right and you can get try out my local track here, because we'll have that big race event here, the Gate Drop Showdown 3.0, September 12th through 14th. And yeah, maybe we'll work something out. I can try to get you there. Maybe I'll throw you some gas money or something.
Yeah, I've never been out to that track before, so it'd be interesting to go out there and shoot for a little bit.
Yeah, Lexi's got no experience on it, so I'm like, I got the upper hand. I got this easy. Well, sweet, Nate. I appreciate you jumping on here, and then we're gonna get Kyle on, our next guy, and talk more media stuff, and we'll just continue to bore Lexi to death. Oh,
yeah, it's funny. I was trying to get Kyle to do some pictures for me out at the 7 Mile RV park back here, ripping the quad a little bit, and then what do you know? All this happens this weekend. Had to send him the message of shame for the media guys and be like, "Man, I'm sorry. I wrecked my 4-wheeler. We can't do pictures, man."
Well, let's throw Kyle on right now, so you could talk to him personally, face to face. Hi, Kyle.
What's up, Kyle? I got the message, and he's like, "Hey, I actually crashed today." I'm like, "I just saw you because I was there riding the same day, and I left, and on the way out of the parking lot, he said, 'Hey, I just crashed on the flat track. I can't ride. I can't do the shoot.'" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, huge bummer. I was so stoked to get some stuff from you, but I had to fumble the bag.
Yeah, it looked like a bad crash too. You hit so hard.
Oh yeah, it was pretty tough. I mean,
Nate hit so hard he went back into Friday. He went back a few days.
Oh yeah.
I've had some of those crashes at Albany. I crashed at the finish line section before we had that finish line jump, Lexi. We had this whoop section, and this is when I was fast. I was blitzing the whoops, and the last whoop got me. I went over the bars, put my head into the ground, and then I got up and I'm like, I gotta finish the race. And the guy's like, "Bro, race has been done for we're on to Moto 23. You were 21." I'm like, "But I have to finish." We might have been concussed.
Slightly knocked out.
Slightly concussed. And they're like, "You want an ambulance?" I'm like, "No, man, I can't afford that. I'll get the Ranger and I'll go back home." Yeah, we're good. Well, yeah, we've had our shares of crashes. But anyways.
Definitely sure it won't be the last.
Not the
Yeah,
first.
I
and last.
ride like crazy. So
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Well, it happens. But hey, if you want to get a hold of Nate or Kyle, what are you doing this weekend? Are you doing anything?
This weekend, I'm probably going to Salt Lake City for the
Damn.
last race. So yeah,
Mr. Big Shot. We'll get into Mr. Big Shot here. But yeah, thanks, Nate. If anyone wants to get a hold of Nate, make sure you message him. And yeah, like I put, was this correct? Did I write it correctly there?
That is correct.
It's correct. I know how to spiel. Make sure to follow Nate and get some media, photos, reels, whatever you want. Thanks for jumping on here, Nate. And yeah, I can't wait to see what you get from Airway. And then, I'll probably cross paths with you probably at Airway once again with PRO and then Washougal and whatever else you have in their deck of cards for this year.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. It was an awesome time talking to you.
Thank
Hell
you.
yeah. We'll have you on here more often and talk about more bears and foxes and everything. And then also motocross. So that's
sure.
Kyle. I kind of put the wagon before the horse. So I'll throw your intro on here. And yeah, Nate, I'll see you at the next track.
All right. See you guys. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
see you, Nate.
Well, Kyle, I'm a terrible media guy because that's 2022 footage because I have no footage of you.
No, I'm a terrible writer.
Other than myself, I should have put the cell phone stuff of that photo, that banger of a photo I have behind you. I should have put that in there, but I didn't think about it. Lexi, you know I'm a terrible media guy. It's okay.
Yeah.
Last time I rode is pretty much 2022, so I don't blame you. Probably rode like 4 times since then, but
you're like the professional. I lost my little like fidget spinner I was screwing around with. Anyways, ADHD or whatever, ADD, who knows what I got. But yeah, we're back. Welcome to the show, Kyle. We had you on a little bit with Jevin Didier. You were just kind of like, yeah, what up? I'm cool. I'm here. Bye. We didn't get into any of your stuff, really. But yeah, you've been doing a whole bunch of things. And Lexi, feel free. Like I said, did you hear, Kyle? She put Tanner over a berm. Like she went full motocross style, took her best friend out, pointed and laughed at Tanner. Was like, "Ha, loser!"
Well, he passed me in the corner the lap before, and he went outside to inside. So I was like, "Oh, yeah, Tanner, I'll go outside."
Dude,
inside.
Kyle,
Yeah,
didn't end well. You Deegan Davies them.
Dude, I might have to watch my back on our 1v1 race that you'll be filming later. I might have to put like an Insta 360 on. I never know. Lexi's practicing on going full Deegan on me.
She's gonna smoke you,
dude. She's gonna smoke me twice. She's gonna throw me over a berm, and she's gonna win the race. And she's gonna be like, "Ha ha, loser."
I'll film all of it.
Yeah, of course you will.
Oh,
you
yeah.
filmed me racing the P-dubs, and we know how that ended.
Got beat by the P-dubs and got broken.
I got beat. Yeah, whatever. Weston helping still. I could have smoked you.
He's on a mod, so that doesn't count.
He only weighs like 25 pounds. That's why he was faster. I'm like clicking gears, and he's like trying to bam barsha me. But anyways, dude, you've been crushing it. I don't know, like. What happened? Did you just like slide in someone's email, or you just all the Instagram bangers? You're like, you know what? I can go to Seattle. I can go to Gillette Stadium. I can do all this. You're filming the dude that was winning the mud race too. Like, what a great coincidence that worked for you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is working out really well. The dude's winning.
Oh yeah,
I'm filming him.
Yeah, exactly. I was freaking
like,
out, but yeah, that's
how'd you
Dayton
get into
Briggs.
the Supercross world? Like, what happened? You were like with motocross action. You're doing stuff for all these guys. Like. What are you doing?
So basically, I met Dayton Briggs. I've been riding with them for a couple years. And when I went down there in 2023 after my back injury, I rode with him a lot. And then I was filming for him then. And then this previous year, 2024, I went back down to California to train after I got my first knee surgery. But that obviously didn't work out. I still could barely ride. So I wasn't riding as much down there as I wanted to. So I ended up filming a lot. So I pretty much went to the track with Dayton every day. It was about this time last year. So up until Fox Raceway of last year, I did practice videos for him, then kind of built that relationship. And then I came back home last summer. Knee wasn't going too well. And then this spring, I went back down to California for January, February, and I went to the first 5 Supercross rounds. And so I was filming for just little privateers, just here and there stuff, some stuff for Motocross Action magazine, because I'm in contact with one of the filmers there and the editor. So he helps me out a lot. I film a lot of stuff for them. And then Dayton got the call from a 250 West and 250 East team. It's MRP SBR Husqvarna, and they're a new team for this year. And he got the call to ride for them. I believe it was at A2. So he didn't have the Supercross points yet. So he had to do Supercross Futures first. So they got him a bike. He rode for like 3-4 days. And then he took me. We went to Arizona for round 4. It was the first Supercross Futures round.
Yeah.
And he rode there, and you have to get top 10 to score Supercross points. And you have to get 4 points to be able to ride Pro Supercross. And you get 2 points for each top 10. So he had to do 2 Futures rounds and get top 10 in both in order to ride 250 East. So first one at Arizona, he got 8th, I believe. So he got his 2 points there. And then a couple weekends later, he went to Daytona. I wasn't there for that one because I was at Horn helping you out for, I believe, the first PRO. Yeah. And so he got, I believe, 8th or 9th again there. So he got his second 2 points. So he's at 4 points. And then from there, he called me up and said, hey, I'm making my debut at Foxborough, Gillette Stadium. And he's like, it's going to rain, so bring all your rain stuff. So I flew out there. Qualifying, he got P3 and second, actually. And so he was first gate pick in the first heat. So that was cool. Got first gate pick up there with all the factory guys. And then he actually got a second place start in the heat race and finished 3rd. So yeah, I believe awesome. 5th or 6th place gate pick for the main event. And he whole shot of the main and led almost the whole thing. So that was sweet. And then he fell over with, I believe, 2 minutes to go. But I was freaking out.
It happened. The bottom fell out. Were you just like with the camera? Obviously, I left my
I was like this.
You're like, yes, yes,
yes. I was praying on his downfall because I was like, I'm not going to be able to get down to the podium. I'd have to like jump through people and jump down there because I was up in the stands. And I was like, he's going to win this thing. And then he fell down and he couldn't get his bike up because it was stuck on a triple lip. And he was down for 1 minute and 45 seconds. Jeez. He was trying to get his bike up for. So
Kyle's
that
like
was that.
Running down the stand, like trying to zip line. He's like grabbing on he's like Batman on a grappling hook, like trying to get down.
And that was 3 weeks after my knee surgery, so I could barely walk.
You're hobbling around like I am.
Yeah. So that was the whole thing, but it was an awesome weekend.
Is it just like word of mouth or what? Like I told myself when Dungy retired, I quit the whole dream, and now you're doing what I originally wanted to do. You're doing Supercross, you're filming stuff. You got a Vial whip for Motocross Action. Like what? How?
It happens fast. It's just a lot of the times it's not what you know, it's who you know. You got to make those connections. And me being in California riding allows me to be around those people and then kind of just get my name out there, talk to people. I always talk to as many people as I can, message them, kind of just face-to-face stuff, kind of get my name out there. And then a lot of times people just go in their archives and say, oh, I need a guy. My main guy is down. He's busy this weekend, and they get someone else. And then that's kind of what happened for me with Motocross Action. I did some stuff with Verb and with Dayton. His main guy went to the Army, actually. So I kind of stepped in, helped him out, and then I built a good relationship with him, and then just did a good job, and then always try to do my best work, and then just kind of went from there.
Always nice and positive.
That's awesome. Yes. What's your plans going forward with everything going into the next year and finishing up
I actually got another knee surgery to hopefully fix my knee. It was, I believe, 8 weeks ago on Thursday. And I believe that they actually fixed it this time. They took out some scar tissue, cartilage, piece of my meniscus, and something called a plica. that was all on my knee, and it was kind of jamming it up. And that was the issues I've been having for the last year and a half. So like,
Yeah.
just barely been able to ride, as you guys know. And I got cleared to ride, I think a week ago, and I've ridden 2 or 3 times. I rode today. I just got off my bike like 20 minutes before we got on here, kind of just trying to test it out, and it feels really good so far. So I'm going to ride around here, see how it goes, and then kind of just throwing ideas out there. I might go to a training facility in the next month or two to try to go build my strength up and then see kind of how the knee does. But as of right now, knock on some wood, it's doing really well. And it's only been about a week or so back on the bike. So lots of physical therapy, just trying to find that fine line in between taking it easy and not doing too much, but still trying to strengthen it.
Yeah, I know my thing with knee
That's awesome.
injuries. I mean, you've been there since the beginning. Here you go, Lexi.
Yeah.
Here's a throwback of how far Kyle and I go back.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, mini Kyle.
What is that, 2017, 18?
I don't know. What year is that bike?
That's
I know you had the KTM before it. I was searching.
That's right when I got on Husky. So it's probably 2018. It's a long time ago.
I was looking for the gate drop logo, and I know you had it like really big on your front fender.
On the fender,
Lexi's, like it was freaking huge. Like Lexi's logo.
The whole fender.
Your logo's fine, Lexi, just so you know. But Kyle's was like
just flaming.
It was like gate drop, like from like the tip all the way, like pretty much the number plate, in my opinion.
I know I have a photo somewhere. I don't know if it's in here. It's hanging up here somewhere.
But yeah, I mean, knee injuries are not fun. I had to do what you did too when I blew my ACL and meniscus out for the second time, like on the same right knee, and had to get it cleaned up like you. And I still haven't like quite figured out if I'm good enough. For me, you have that skill behind the camera and on the bike. I kind of. Maybe I don't have skills at all.
Favor the camera slightly.
I have more skills on the camera versus anything else. But yeah, where was I going with this? But yeah, I can totally relate on just getting back into it and everything else. But yeah, Lexi, what do you got? Kyle wants to keep racing. I keep telling Kyle, like, dude,
yeah,
maybe just do the media thing and just stack.
That's what a lot of people are saying. They're like, just go film.
Just go film. It's safer.
Yeah.
And Kyle's like, no, I want to race.
It is safer. It is safer.
You gotta ride.
But it's nice. Of course, not nice, but I've unfortunately in the last year or two been able to kind of film and ride quite a bit more filming. But now that the knee's better, I'll be able to kind of do both. But I'll be going to a lot of the outdoor rounds because Dayton's doing, I believe, every single outdoor round. I think there's 11 this year. And he'll be going to all of those. So I'll be at a lot of those, getting videos for him. And then in between those, I'll be riding myself.
So does he
and then I'll see.
Sorry to cut you off. Does he just like tell like MX Sports, like, hey, I got a film guy. Can I get a credential? Like, how does he get around that? Like,
yeah, so he basically communicates it with the team manager or the owner of the team. And then they know people through MX Sports and they can kind of say, hey, we have a media guy for this guy. This is how many followers he has. This is what he's providing. And then they kind of go through, see how many media people they have for that event and see if they have enough bibs to get out. Yeah, there's only a specific number.
Like, there can't be just 40 media people out there. It'd just be like
there's a really limited amount
around, like all trying to get the same thing. Like, there's got to be a cutoff somewhere.
Yeah, especially it's really, really bad Supercross, and the restrictions are really bad. You can only stand on probably 10% of the track, and the banners that go like along the side of the stadium, you have to stand in the slits of the banner. So you can't just stand anywhere. You have to look behind you and say it says Dunlop. You can't stand in the Dunlop word. You have to stand in the creases in between the banners. Otherwise, you get kicked out. So you have to really be aware. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's very, very Germany over here.
Yeah. All about the sponsors, all about the TV time. So you got to be careful.
I'm going to start paying attention and see if like you're in between the banners. I'm like, there he is.
Get out.
But going forward on riding again, what are some possibilities that you're thinking for training facilities? Would you go back to Grindstone, or would you try something else, or do something that you've done in the past?
Of course, Grindstone's amazing. I love it there. I've been there 2 or 3 separate times for weeks or like a month at a time, and it's awesome. I'm thinking about possibly switching it up for partially the sake of the money. It's a little cheaper, and it's more tracks. I'm thinking about going to Club MX. It is in South Carolina, and Charlotte Airport's about an hour from there. and a lot of the outdoor rounds are East Coast. So it'd be like an hour and an hour 45 flight in between back and forth. And Club MX doesn't do anything on weekends. So if I can
nice.
position
This is
that,
gonna work out well for you.
yeah, I've been thinking about it the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
So if I can get down there, do that, it'll let me ride during the week, and then I can fly out Friday. It'd only be like an hour-ish flight to any of the East Coast tracks. I can film, come back Saturday or Saturday night, and then just be there all day Sunday, rest, and then start the week again on Monday.
Nice.
So that's
You gonna
not
be
it's not official yet, but something I'm thinking about.
Well, if you go to club, are you gonna be working with Daniel Blair? He's pretty
Yeah,
chill.
I was just talking to Daniel today, and there's a new Supercross program that they're doing.
Supercross University.
Yeah. It's actually that he does that too, but it's I know it's flipped around, but it's Intro to Supercross. They just posted it about yesterday, and it's you can do it in 2-week blocks or 3 2-week blocks. You can come and go as you want, or you can do it as a 6-week block. It's in September, and it's an Intro to Supercross. They have it's a spec track, but with safer landings, and you get to ride with the pro guys. They do like a pro schedule, and it's made for people that are going to do Supercross futures or that are amateur right now and looking to do Supercross, and they can kind of slowly fade you into Supercross without it being too dangerous. So they have the equipment there. They can kind of tailor the track to the amateurs and have I think 1 or 2 amateur tracks, and they have a full pro track. So if you kind of get better on the amateur track, getting more confident, you can switch over to the pro track. So they have a full thing there, and then that's kind of another reason why I'm looking to go there, because you have to go there before you can do that camp. So whether it's a day or a week, you have to go there, do the schedule, so they can see like kind of how you are as a rider, and then they'll accept you if you apply to the Supercross. I forgot what it's called. Just like
Intro
the
Supercross.
Intro Supercross, yeah.
Prices look pretty reasonable too.
Really,
like I was looking at that like for a brief moment. I'm like, that's not too bad. It's not costing an arm and a leg.
Yeah, and it's really, really good training on good tracks with like the best trainers and the best riders too. So the people you're riding with are at or above your skill level, so you can kind of learn from them as well.
Yeah, Lexi, I don't know if you've like seen any of recent Club MX stuff, but like it's like a whole campus now. It's like literally a whole university. They got living squares, they've got multiple tracks. Like the place is so big, you can't even tell like if your buddy's there, if they're on the other side of the campus. You're like, hey, I'm here, and you're like, where? You're like, oh, I'm on Supercross A, and it's like, well, I'm on Supercross Z right now, and you're like, damn.
Yeah, I think they said it's up to 200 acres. So you can rent cabins. I believe they call them lodges. They have 1-room ones, 2-room ones, 2-room ones. They have a clubhouse, like a main area. And then they have, I believe, 2 or 3 Supercross tracks, 2 or 3 motocross tracks, a turn track, a sand track. So definitely options there.
Got it all.
Yeah. Learn it all
we should
around.
road trip. We'll just meet Kyle over there. We'll race. Or I'll just haul your bike. You fly over there.
But it's far. It's a far, far drive. So obviously that's something to think about. But
I'll knock it out in 2 days.
2 days driving.
Literally. I just drink Red Bulls. Gives me wings.
Fly there. You'll be there in 3 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you going to do any? Yeah, go for it.
What other training facility have you been to besides
just Grindstone? So up until about a year and a half ago, I've had no training, no trainers, no training facilities. So I've been just all on my own, me and my dad teaching me everything, just kind of self-taught, watching stuff online. And then a year and a half ago, I went to Grindstone for the first time, and I loved it there. It's just the trainer's super nice, the people are nice, the tracks being down there, it's irreplaceable. You can't replicate that up here. You don't have the skill level of riders to kind of learn off of and then just be in that atmosphere. And you don't have the amount of tracks and I wouldn't say difficulty. It's just like how they groom the tracks. It's prepped more like a national track and stuff that you're racing on, like when you race Mesquite. Yeah. So you're riding that every day and then you're comfortable on it. You don't go from riding a super smooth flat track to going to ride a crazy track. You can kind of ride on that during the week, and it helps prepare you more.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only
Yeah.
place that rips it deep, and this is no shade on any of the tracks that we have, like Washougal rips it pretty deep. Sometimes they don't, but like I think a lot of it's just a lot of our dirt just can't really hold itself up. I'm sure there's multiple variables. We'll have to get like a track operator on here at some point to go through like, hey, why do you guys do A, B, and C? Because like it seems like a lot of our tracks we don't have those ruts that make it gnarly, and like you can be at track A to where it's just a freeway the entire time and you're not getting that training and that experience like you're talking about, and then you show up at Loretta's and you're like, crap, there's a rut.
Yeah. What do I do here now?
Right.
Yes. Well, what I've seen a whole bunch is like the Northwest people, like as soon as like there's a rut or something that people have never experienced anything other than Washington tracks, they complain like, oh my gosh, there's breaky bumps in that corner. Like, why are we grooming it? Or why is there ruts here? Why are there ruts there? And they complain like that we did, or last year, Moto Pacific did one practice and it was so awesome. There was ruts in every corner. There was deep ruts everywhere. And I went the next Wednesday and it was flat. It was hard packed. And I was like, what happened? And he was like, or the owner was like, I couldn't do it. People complained so much that there was a rut on the track that you have to, because no.
Oh, she's gone.
Go outside of.
That's a great point. She met her quota on her Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
you're still there, like, you're just pixelated. We're back to 1999. But anyway, yeah, she might be gone altogether. At least she's smiling now. But yeah. Kylie, while we wait to see, I don't know if she just wants to pop out and pop back in. Lexi, if you can hear us, maybe, bye.
She's gone.
Later.
She snuck out. She hit the airplane mode. The Wi-Fi turned off.
Wendy's called.
Oh, she's back.
Anyways, Kyle, you get a race my event this September? Like, it doesn't conflict with you, does it?
As of right now, no. As of right now, no. So that's my number one thing.
I got Daniel's number. Daniel,
so I'll
race
yeah. So if I'm over here, like if my bikes are here, I'll definitely race it. I like that track. And then I saw the last couple days, I believe some trainers have been there, and then some riders I know. The track was really good the last couple days at Albany. Yeah. It's been good ruts, so I'm excited to ride that track again.
And Big Hill Jam's coming July 4th weekend. I don't know if you see that.
Yeah. So where are they riding at?
They're riding at Albany. So Big Hill Jam's at Albany. So.
Oh, I got to go there for that too. I wanted to go last year.
So I can get you in. But yeah, that's going on. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I was there on Sunday, and Gary's been doing pretty well. Track's kind of a happy medium. We've got like more whoops and whatnot. The jumps aren't as sketchy. They're back to my kind of favorability. So I'll definitely beat Lexi there. So yeah, we're just going to keep it like that. So then I can, I'll blitz the whoops. Watch, Lexi. I'll blitz them. First gear.
Tear your other ACL.
Right. Yeah. Dude, these are not fun. But yeah, okay, Salt Lake. So Briggs is Briggs racing the East West Showdown, or are you doing stuff for Motocross Action? Like, are you doing? So I don't know.
That's a Dayton. Yeah, so Dayton he's racing East this year. So he was off this weekend because that was that West race, Denver, and then Salt Lake City's this weekend. He's running East, and then it'll kind of just be up to the team next year if he does East or West. He did East this year because there was 2 hurt riders on the East Coast. So they actually had no more East Coast riders until Dayton got his points and started riding again. So I think he prefers West because he's grown up on that West Coast hard pack stuff, and the East Coast kind of tacky deep ruts kind of threw him off a little bit because he hasn't ridden much Supercross on that. But I believe that next year he'll probably lean towards the West Coast. Well, so he'll be at like Seattle and Cali and all the West Coast rounds.
Well, when you get back from Salt Lake, we need to do more media stuff. I got plenty of projects for you to do. I know your price rate just keeps going higher and higher and higher. So maybe I'll have you edit for me because I have all this content of Lexi for Lexi's World that I haven't put together yet. So I may need help with editing. Time. Yeah, I don't have enough time, man. I worked 10 hours at FGR today. we made a couple reels, a couple cool things. But yeah, for anyone to follow you, Lexi, you got any other questions for Kyle?
I think I'm done.
I'm done. She's done with everything.
Her internet's done too. She's done. Everything's done.
She's got quite a potty mouth. I learned this too. I'm gonna have to bleep out her
Oh.
whole. Every time she fell, I think she said some words.
Oh, is that on the GoPro?
No,
I will not wear a GoPro, but I do.
I tried, Kyle. I tried. I was all like, "Hey, can you wear a GoPro so I can get more content?" She's like, "Absolutely not."
Do it canceled.
Yeah, I get really mad. Sometimes.
I got. Before we let Kyle go, I want to bring up your favorite boy, Lexi, the Deegs. You probably unfollowed him. Kyle, what do you think?
Tell by her face.
What do you think? If you don't like it, you can suck it.
I agree with Lexi's face. I'm not his biggest fan, but whatever he does on the dirt bike, he is fast. But I don't like him as a person or like
really
necessarily
great,
what he says. But
if you don't
he's
like
so
it, you can
fast.
suck it. Okay.
Yeah. He'll look at that. He'll look back at that interview in like 10 years and be like, "Oh my gosh, what was I doing?"
The person that he could be is insane. Like if you went back 5 years and you kept him like the kind of like the funny, cocky, and you know, he has these last years. He has taken it so far. Yes, I can't listen to it. Like I watch the races and I can watch everybody on the podium, and as soon as I see Hayden's face, it's game over. Like I had to turn.
It's over. Just mute it.
It was bad.
So you're saying there's not a chance?
Never.
Now I'm like back on like Jet's side. I'm like, oh man, can't wait for the 450 class. I want to see this. Like, I want to see the rivalry. I need someone's got to shake and bake. Look at this dog.
This is Cassie. We just got her 2 days ago. She's brand new. You're just a baby, aren't you?
Brand new, but looks like
she was pawing. No, she was pawing at my back.
Yeah. Well, I closed the gate on mine because you've seen my dog. He's always just like, "Hey, are you done yet? We got to go on a walk."
Let's go.
No, I had to bring up Deegs just to get Wexy.
Just get her fired up.
Get her fired up. Because I always say, what grinds your gears? And she's like, nothing. I'm just happy all the time. And I'm like, I know I'm at your point.
Deegan, man, he needs to figure stuff out.
That's what grinds your gears.
And then you go on TikTok like 7 minutes after watching Supercross, and it is video after video after remix after everything of Hayden. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot watch this.
Just turn off your phone, yeah.
Yes.
Hayden, you're not getting the blonde, dude. That's what grinds her gears. I finally got her.
Oh, yeah.
I got her mad.
Yeah, you know her sweet spot now. Poke it.
Well, that's all I got. Kyle, besides Salt Lake, anywhere else you're gonna be doing? You gonna be racing? What do you got? You gonna come back right after Sunday morning, right around the house, just like I said, motocross style, and just riding the berms. Does Lauren ride anymore? I haven't seen Lauren. What's your sister been up to?
Yeah, so she rides, and then she has a full-time job now, and then she got a dog too, so she's super busy with that. She got her sister, so just a couple of days ago. So she's all wound up with that. She loves her though, and so she's riding still. She hasn't ridden yet this year, but she rode a bunch last year, but didn't race. So I'm sure the next week or two, she'll go out to Airway, ride again, and then kind of just ride whenever she wants to.
Well, is there a way I'm changing this stuff because I need some promotional stuff? Look at that. I made it work.
Oh,
is there a way we can get Lauren to come down and line up as well for the Gate Drop Showdown 3.0?
Oh,
Lauren, I'm talking to you.
I'll get her training. I'll get her training. I'll get her out in the backyard doing some laps.
You can put the camera on a tripod. You can be doing where you get one of those 360 cams. You can.
Oh, yeah, the Insta 360.
Yeah.
I can mic her up.
We got the 3.0 coming down. Kyle, This is what grinds my gears. You don't check your request folder on your Instagram. So when people
I
sign up
know.
for media, they like
Half the
you
time.
just ghost them.
I think I fixed that though. On my
Better.
if you check my normal Instagram, my just Kyle Berry, it all pops up. But
Yeah.
I wasn't getting him through Berry Productions. It was so annoying. So I got that fixed now. So all that's good to go now.
Okay, I ungrinded my gears.
Gears are lubed now. You're good.
Well, I'm just all like, everyone last year is like, I want reels. I'm like, oh, hit up Kyle. He's like, he's not responding. I'm all like, he's right there. Just go say hi to him.
Go talk
He's
to
right
me.
there. He's just like, he's that nice guy with the flowing hair that he'll run around even with a blown knee and he'll get it for you.
The one that's limping. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Not anymore, hopefully.
Yeah. It's part of the media gig. I don't know. You and I are alike on you, except for you're faster and you do like better slow mo than me. But it is what it is. You surpassed me. But yeah, hit up Kyle for reels. Hit him up at Salt Lake. Maybe he can you'll find him in the stands, and just get him. Maybe Chase Sexton will hit you up. Yeah, Sexton's gonna hit you up. He'll be like,
hopefully
hey,
someday.
I'm gonna get that. Well, I mean, you got stuff with Deegs. You did the Star. You've done so much. We're gonna go. There. Keep getting at it. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah, we're getting there. Thank you.
But yeah, September 12th through 14th, you'll find Kyle there. You'll find me there.
Oh yeah,
smoking Lexi.
You gotta get trained in Lexi.
Tuesday.
I better.
She's not coming back next Tuesday. She's all like, Kristoff's a jerk.
She's done. She's gonna pull my internet shit off again.
Yes.
I don't know what the Wi-Fi. Lexi, how many people came up to you at Moto Pacific and asked you how Wendy's was?
No, actually, Tanner thought I actually got a job at Wendy's. I was like, no, I didn't actually get a job. He's like, Lexi, did you start a new job? I was like, where? And he's like, Wendy's. I was like, no. No.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's so funny.
Just making them Frosties. Whatever Kristoff says goes. Kristoff can just stir the pot.
I didn't have to go for it. He really believed it. I was like, thank you, Tanner. And he was like, there's nothing wrong with working in fast food. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to be the person.
I had another person be like, so Lexi's working at Wendy's. I'm all like, yeah, man, she wanted the Baconators. It's the Baconator. That's the program.
Free food for lunch.
Frosty.
Yes.
She's got to pay for
Frosty a day.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd work there if I got a free Frosty a day.
Lexi's just in her truck, her white truck, just eating a Frosty one-handed. Listen, like, this is how we roll from Florida Georgia line. Like, yeah. That's what I imagine, Lexi. You just drive around up there in that Maple Valley area. All right. Let's wrap this up. We're in hour 18. Lexi's got homework to do. Kyle's got, I don't know. What do you got to do? What do you got?
I don't know. Probably go put my bike inside. I threw my bike on the stand and sprinted inside.
I gotta go put my bike away. The dog's looking at me. I gotta take him on a walk. Ajax, you want to go for a walk? Oh, he put his head up. All right. We'll wrap this up. 30+2 podcast, episode 49. I'll just put this thing over his Kyle's face because why not? We had Nate Mattson, Kyle Berry on Berry Productions. Hit him up. Have fun at Salt Lake. Get the cool content. Are you picking Cooper Webb or Chase Sexton on this?
Oh, I think Chase might try something crazy, but I think Cooper's got it. He'll just get a good start and just ride it in. Yeah, because what I was telling some people was because the points gap in between Deegan and Davies was I believe 8 points. It was 8. Yeah. So it was 8 for Deegan to secure it. He had to get 8 points on Davies for him to secure it, and he did it. And then I believe the gap in between Sexton and Webb is 9. Yeah. So all he has to do is just do exactly what Deegan did to Davies. You never know. It's possible. It's not out of the question. So I believe probably like a 99% chance Webb's got it, but something crazy might happen. You never know. That's why it's motocross.
I think Webb's got it. Lexi, Webb, Sexton.
I think so. Yeah, Webb.
All right. All three of us were webbing it out. Who knows? Something might happen. Kyle might I don't know.
I'll just jump in the track and just jump in front of Webb
and just be like flashing. Like, ching, ching, ching. You can't see. Here you go, Sexton.
Do the Michael Alessi laser.
The laser game.
Right in his eye.
Yeah, that was Jeff Alessi. Lexi, have you ever heard about that at Washougal 2011? I know you're pretty young.
It was Jeff, yeah.
Yeah.
Laser.
No, wait. Was it 2000? I know it was 12. I think it was 2012. Yeah, it was
But
12.
laser in the eyes, yeah.
Lasergate. You have to go listen to that. We'll refresh you because you were like 4. I think so.
3.
3. What? Yeah, whatever.
Wait. 8, 9, 10, 11. Now 4.
Yeah, I know math. All right. Get to your math. Thanks, Kyle, for jumping on. We had Nate Mattson. Thanks, Lexi, for jumping on. We will see you guys either next Monday or Tuesday. Lexi's the boss. She's in control. I just fill up. So, yeah, episode 49, 30+2 podcast. We are out. Later.